The New Zealand trip was probably the big turning point for myself. It was one of those ones when you're on tour and someone got injured, you know, in the sense of Ricky Ponting, which is unlucky in one way, but it sort of gave me a break, and I was batting well on tour and in front of Steve Waugh, and got a chance to get picked for Test cricket. So I just took the opportunity and just went out there, and I felt comfortable about my batting and did my job.
Talked about as a future Test captain, in the baggy green at 21, Damien Martyn ended up on cricketing Skid Row. The fall from grace and the climb back make a story that sounds more like a lesson.
Good stroke, and that is it. Excellent 50 for Damien Martyn.
You don't really want that to happen. You'd love to sit here and say I've played 100 tests, but nothing I can do about it, and I've sort of just taken it on the chin and put it in the past and trying to get back onto, you know, playing some decent cricket.
100 Test career seemed a possibility in the summer of '92 when Damien debuted against the Windies. He averaged 28, made 2 tours, and finally crossed paths with cricket's blowtorch at the SCG in early 1994. Australia needed 117 to win a Test, Craig McDermott joining Damien at 8 for 75.
We got close, we'd worked so hard to get there, and then McDermott came out and, you know, started bashing him around, and that sort of got in your mind, and you know, you try to do the same thing. We're 4 or 5 runs short.
Got him, yes, straight to cover, that's it. Damien Martyn has gone for the drive, he's hit it straight to cover, and the South Africans are all over each other.
Ian Healy, remember sitting me down afterwards, and the dressing room was, you know, terrible after a loss, and just saying, look, 1 metre either side and you're probably a national hero, and you get out and you know, what's happens. So look, it hurt for a long time, so I think more from the public point of view, wherever you went, people were speaking about it, but it's just sort of part of life, and get on with it and get going.
A villain in the eyes of the public, discarded by the selectors. When Damien was dropped, he kept falling. The one natural talent he didn't have was knowing how to bounce back. A consolation was the Warriors' captaincy, but that was a missed time as well.
You know, he nearly lost his spot in the state side just after he lost the captaincy. Not long after that, they were genuinely talking about him being dropped back to club cricket, and who knows what would have happened if that had been on a regular basis.
Former first-class player and now cricket writer, Kim Hagdorn was Damien's club coach at South Perth, and one of several in the West unwilling to watch a talent wither. So they traded home truths like live hand grenades.
Even the discussions when we first decided that we'd like to work together, you know, I think we made it pretty clear to each other we didn't like each other, and I think the blatant honesty of his confessions and the fact that we could be honest with each other probably laid the foundation to a very open relationship that benefited both of us, and most importantly, Marto.
When you become honest with yourself and say, well, look, I'm going to stop making excuses, you know, because this has happened because of this reason, and I just, you know, you look yourself in the mirror, if you use that old cliche, and say, come on, get back out there. To get back playing for Australia, you've got to do these, you know, points, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, and let's start from now and get out there and do it. So until that happened, I was probably just, you know, stagnant and just playing short cricket.
I think he realised that he needed to change his approach to whether it was a net session or a club game or a first-class game. He just had to have the Steve Waugh type, Mark Taylor type, Ian Healy type work ethics to achieve what you want to achieve, and just the maturity switch got flicked.
He climbed back from club runs to a Shield double century. Damien then added one-day runs to his game-restoring tonic. It was a way back to green and gold.
Beautiful to watch. He's a class act, Damien Martyn.
The one-day series where I won the Mercantile Player of the Series a couple of years back, I know before that I had a big goal of wanting to perform well in that one-day series. I sort of looked at my personal average and the way I'd gone about, and I said, look, I'm a better player than this. This one-day series, I'm going to, you know, my goal is to improve and show them that I can bat. So I probably started from, you know, before that series.
Promoted to opener in New Zealand this year, from the World Cup onwards, Damien had the often frustrating, sometimes critical, mid-innings role for the Australians. He's not complaining, it was a means to an end.
I found it quite interesting. I mean, it was a challenge, and I think Steve's big one is that the whole batting side can really bat anywhere. I mean, 1 minute, you know, you might be opening the batting, 1 minute you're batting 3. I mean, I think I've batted 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I think I remember when I first got back in, I was batting 9 or 10 in the side. So that's what he wants in the side. He wants flexibility that, you know, you can bat 6 or you can open the batting.
Damien began this first-class season with 200 runs in Hobart and a job carrying the Test drinks in Brisbane. His mind in perfect shape for this full recall.
There would have been years there, definitely. You kept on looking back and saying, you know, what could have been, and I should have done this and I should have did that. But I've just sort of, you know, bitten the bull and said I've got to work hard, and the past is the past, nothing I can do about it, and get on with the job and make runs.